today's video, guys, today, guys, we are actually going to be making a time played script inside of Roblox Studio up to only 50 lines. So if you're brand new, make sure to subscribe and like the video for more Roblox scripting tutorials. So let's hop into the tutorial. Alright guys, so we are here in a pretty much a blank base plate. I just started up Studio. And we're going to go over to server script service, guys. You can see it right here. We're going to click on the plus button and pretty much frequently use. The only things that you can use are scripts inside of server script service, guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete this. So you always want to delete it. Every script starts with print hello world for like a fun joke, kind of always what Roblox has done. And we're going to be starting with local players equals game get service players. So what this does, guys, is it's gonna get out our players. So right here you can see this is the player service. And if you don't know what get service is, it's the best way to access all of this stuff inside of a script. It can save you lines. It might be a little bit of extra typing, but it's the best way to do it in case some sort of service breaks or something. It rarely happens, but again, we're going to skip a few lines down to go to our table, which will be calling time track. And we're going to set this equal to a table. So these two buttons right here on your keyboard, you'll have a left, and then you'll also have a right. Well, the right doesn't auto finish, so the left will auto finish into a table. And this can store, this is where we're going to be storing our time played. If you don't know what a table is, there's plenty of tutorials, and I'll link the Roblox wiki down in the description below, the Roblox dev wiki, so make sure to go check that out, guys. And the first thing we're actually going to do is when the player joins. So what we're going to do, we're going to reference our players, this thing right here, as you guys can see, players, and we're going to do dot player added. So this fires, this is called an event. So if we actually go back here, you can see this little lightning bolt right here. It is an event, and when a player will join, so we have to go this, and we have to connect, we'll have to put on that connect, and we're going to be connecting it to this function. And you want to add, when you type in function here, it's always going to leave that, so you kind of want to just type your left, shift 9, and you'll do that, and then you can delete this and then hit enter. And now we have this brand new function, which is when a player will add. So when someone joins the game and the player is over here, it will add in that. And then it also has a parameter which sends us the player who joined. So for this instance, I'm going to hit print, and this will print, and then we're just going to do player.name. So yeah, it's pretty simple here. We're going to go test, and we're going to hit play. And as you guys can see, it prints camguy, which is my username on Roblox. So we're going to hit stop, and then we're going to go back to our script right here, and we're going to erase this because that's not actually needed. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to create our leader stats or folder where we're going to be storing this. So we're going to do local leader stats equals instance.new folder. So what we're doing here, guys, is we're creating a brand new folder, and it's going to be called leaderstats. So what we're going to do is we're going to do leaderstats dot name, and then we're going to do the quotation marks, or the string marks is what I call them, and we're going to type in leaderstats. So this is, we now be naming this folder leaderstats, and then we're going to be parenting the folder leaderstats.parent to our player. So now when we join the game, it will be making a new folder called leaderstats, guys. We're going to come down to this line, and we're going to do our local time played value, and that will be a new instance.new, and this time we're going to be creating a number value. So this is actually going to be a number value which stores a number. It's kind of in its name, number value, and we're going to be calling it time played value. So we're going to go down a couple lines, and then we're going to be naming this time played.value. We're going to be naming it not name, and then we're going to set it equal to time played. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set its value, time played.value, equal to 0. So this will be setting our value to 0, and then we also want to parent it to our leader stats folder, which is right here. So all I have to do is copy the leader stats and then paste it in right here, and then that will set the parent after that. So this is good practice to always parent things after you always edit the value instead of doing it up here. That's just a bad practice. If you're brand new to scripting, it's something that you should always do, and then you should always parent the leader stats after you parent something inside of it, so it always kind of saves on that little lag, because you can create thousands of these things and then it can lag up the game. Alright, so then we're going to go down to, we're going to be setting our time track right here. So before we parent it right here, we're going to time track, which will be getting our thing, and we're going to go those, and then we're going to go player. So we're going to set inside of our table the player, and then we're going to set that equal to another table, and we're going to be setting it equal to tick, which is a number, a service that has like a tick. It's like the real-time type thing, and then the next one will be 0, which will be our value right here. So that will be that, and that is pretty much it for the player added event. So we can come down to here, and we can do players.player removing, and again it's another event, and this we will connect to a function, and that will also give us player, and this fires every time the player left. So that instead of printing when we join, it will be printing when we leave if I were to do that. But instead, I'm going to set our table time track is to player, which will do that equal to nil. So this will get rid, setting a table to nil, guys, will reset the table to nothing. It will just make the table like it wasn't in there. So this stuff right here will be deleted upon removing. There's also a way that you can kind of like save it, but that will be for part 2, so make sure to subscribe, guys, and like for part 2. So we're going to come down here to line 31. We're going to scroll down so we won't be able to see that stuff anymore, and we're going to do while true do. This is a loop, and it will just continue to keep on printing forever and ever, but we need to add a wait, and we're going to be updating this loop every 1 second. And then what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down a bit here, and we're going to go through for I, which is for index, player, in pairs players, which is our player value up here as we've seen before, and we're going to call the function get players, which is a built-in function to the service players right here, and it will grab our player, and it will loop through all the players, and then we hit do, which is another form of like do and then end, stuff like that, and then we're going to check to make sure that the player has all the stuff. So we're going to get rid of that, and what we're going to do is we're going to check if player find first child, and then we're going to check if it has leader stats. So this is what it's doing, and then we're going to do then. So what we're doing here is we're checking if the player has leader stats, which it should, but we want to make sure it does in case the player leaves and this goes through the player, and in case so we don't get any errors. It's error preventable is what I call it. Alright, so then we're going to come down here, we're going to do local leader stats equals this. We can just go here, copy, and that. So now we're setting our leader stats folder we found inside our player to this local variable right here. Then we're going to come down another line, and we're going to do if leader stats find first child, and then we're going to do our name of the time played right here, and we're going to be finding our time played value. So then we can come down here again, we can get rid of these extra spaces at the end of those, we don't need the spaces there, and we can do our local time played value equals this. So you can just copy, go around that, copy paste. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to come down and we're going to do our local time data, and we're going to get the time track and the player. So what this is doing is getting our player in the table, and it's going to be getting this data right here. And then we're going to do local start, which is the time data 1. So what this does, it's going to be referencing the first pretty much thing in our table, which will be this tick value, and then we want the local old time is equal to the second value right here. So what we have to do is time data 2, the next thing we want to do is the local time in server, and what we want to do this is take the tick, which is the new tick, which if you call tick here, it's going to be different than when we called it back here, and then we can do it by the start. So that's going to be doing that, and then we do local time played equals time in server plus old time. So you really don't need the old time, but this is the way you want to reset the value, and then you go time played dot value equals time played, and then now every second it should update it to where when we join the game here, as you guys can see, we will go and look, we've played 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 7 seconds, and 8 seconds. It will go on and on, so you can keep this here and it will just keep going. So what we do is we have the player, which is what I'm talking about. When you get the player, you have this player right here, and then you have their leader stats, and then you have their time played right here. So that's all for that, and then you do that, so that's all that is, and then you have the pretty much time played value right here. So that's all you have to do today, guys, and that is pretty much the script. So if I scroll out here, you guys should be able to see the whole script. Let's way too far out. That should be good. Yeah, that should be good. There's the whole script for you guys right there. If you want to see it in full detail, here I'll put it up a little bit more right here, so you can do it and you can see the full script. It's only 54 lines, so around 15 lines is what I told you guys at the beginning, and it's a really epic script, and you can keep your time played, yeah, that's pretty much it for that. So if you guys would like more scripting tutorials, make sure to subscribe for the future content and like this video up. Let's try to hit 20 something likes, guys. 20 likes. Let's try to hit 20 likes. And you can use this in your games. It's a really simple, easy tutorial. There obviously will be more advanced ways you could use this time played. You could get the time played value. There's a lot of things you could do, leaderboards and stuff like that. But make sure to keep content on the table. I'll be making sure to make more videos for you guys, and suggest more in the comment section, and correct any errors if you see any. Obviously there could be a possibility of some errors, but it worked perfectly fine when I play tested. So that's all we need to hear about. So guys, if you have not already, make sure to subscribe again, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.